Whew. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Humble Warrior. Back at you guys with another video. I actually was on Twitter maybe like an hour or so ago. I was looking at the Xavier Howard video of I don't know the actual podcast these people he was talking to, but they had a snippet of him talking about Brian Flores and how Flores conducted himself as a coach. Now, mind you, Brian Flores came from the. Wait a minute! Oh my God, dude! What the hell? Brian Flores came from the Bill Belichick coaching tree, so a lot of things that he does, I wouldn't say it's kind of productive, but he ran the Miami Dolphins kind of like the Patriots organization. No nonsense, a military type thing, and he built a defense that was able to withstand a lot of flaws from the offensive side of the ball. Now, X said that Flores was a great guy. He whenever you did something wrong, he would chew your ass out. He also said that when you did things that were good, he didn't pat you on the back because you're supposed to do it. That never had an encounter with Brian Flores, so I take his word at face value. However, as a head coach, you have to understand that when you draft a quarterback, the confidence of them is everything. So drafting Tua, when reports were that he didn't even want the kid, but the owner did, drafting him, it comes with you being able to adjust how you run certain things to make sure your offense is fluent. During his rookie year, Tua had Mac Hollins, Lynn Bowden Jr., Corey Grant Sr., he had Devontae Parker, he had Ahmed, Myles Gaskin, and Preston Williams. And all the names I just named off, maybe one guy is still on that team, and that's Ahmed. The rest of those guys are gone. Which shows you the talent that they possessed, which wasn't very high. Not to mention the Miami Dolphins during Tua's rookie campaign was near the bottom offensively. Wasn't all his fault because, hey, if you don't have guys that can separate, which they had the worst separation rate in the NFL during his rookie year, I don't know what else you want him to do about that. Now, he had some games where he showed flashes of potential, but then, as you see, they also had games where, the bottom fell out. And Flores benched him twice, basically, the Raiders game and the Broncos game. Now, he also had to bring him in. What game was that? The Ravens game at home, he had to bring him in after he told Ryan Fitzpatrick to sit down. Was it Ryan Fitzpatrick? Or it was somebody else in front of him. But I want to say no. It was Jacoby Brissett. He told him to sit his ass down, and he brought Tua in, and Tua delivered that bomb to Jalen Waddle, and then they ended up winning the game. And then the Buffalo Bills game, when everything imploded, he left Tua out there, and it imploded. And also the Tennessee Titans game, where I forgot about Mike Gronkowski, said himself they made no adjustments in the Tennessee Titans game. So they went out there to do the same thing they've been doing, and they got their teeth kicked in. So, hey, like I said, I'll take X's word at his own value, or better yet, with a grain of salt. Doesn't mean Brian Flores is a bad coach. Doesn't mean that at all. But there's a reason why he probably won't ever get a head coaching job again. He's great as a defensive coordinator, great defensive mind. Unfortunately, the Vikings got old, so he has to rekindle that defensive unit. But there's a reason for that. So, in that regard, I didn't like the way Flores was. Some people said that he was okay, but when you see your whole offensive side of the ball being torn to pieces by a coach that gives no fucks about it, then how is he such a great guy? Because defensively, he put the defense in perfect positions all the time, but offensively, we fell completely by the wayside. If you're the boss, shouldn't you make sure all three phases are on the same page? Shouldn't they be able to be just as productive as the defense. But, you know, hey, it didn't matter to him because he didn't have to score points because he could stop the opposition from scoring. Backwards philosophy of thinking. And unlike Bill Belichick, Brian Flores didn't have a Tom Brady type quarterback right out the gate. So that's not what Tua was. And once he understood that, the offense changed a little bit. But they made the necessary adjustments offensively to help him toward the end of the season. But it wasn't to that point until it was too late because they had missed the playoffs even at 10-6. So it is what it is. However, it was something else I was going to talk about. Mike Williams just signed with the New York Jets 1 year for $13 million. I really, really wanted Mike Williams to sign with the Dolphins, but it is what it is. I guess we'll be seeing him twice a year now at MetLife Stadium. So, hey, well wishes going down the drain. But it's one more thing. Oh, yeah. So, they had a poll, or not a poll, but they had a stat line lined up with Tua and CJ Stroud. And I've seen it a few times on Twitter where people were saying how much better Stroud was than Tua. And I'm like, the kid's a rookie. And granted, he put up great numbers, you know. I think he had 3,800 yards, or no, he had 4,100 yards, either 41 or 4,200 yards, 24 touchdowns. I think he had like 7 or 8 picks compared to Tua's 14. And Tua had 29 touchdowns with 4,600 yards, 4,624 yards, and 29 touchdowns and 14 picks. But people are already saying, you know, how much better CJ is than Tua. And I'm like, why are we doing this again? What's the point of this? So you're tearing down one person to uplift another when their situations are completely different. The Dolphins are finally building around him. CJ Stroud walked into a situation where the Texans were ready to win. They were just a quarterback away. That's what it was. So it wasn't like CJ came to a struggling Texan team that they barely squeaked into the playoffs. No, they was in prime position in most of the year to win their division, which I want to say they did. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me on that. But they were in prime position to win, and they won a playoff game at home. So if their team was that bad, how they managed to split? They dominated the Cleveland Browns at home. They beat them by damn near 20. So if your team is struggling that bad, or they're that terrible of a team, how you manage to dominate at home during the playoff game when you had 2 pick sixes back to back that basically shut the door on Cleveland? And this was a Cleveland team that was riding pretty high with Joe Flacco leading the way. So what are we talking about here? Granted, Miami fell on their face flat, but I'll say this, though. I think that playoff loss will help Tua tremendously, and I will tell you why. Because he went into a situation where he had an opportunity to close the deal during, 4 or 5 games left in the season. He didn't do it. He came up short. I'm not going to say and make excuses for him because that's what he did. But when he goes back and look at the season they had, especially down the stretch, they were terrible. So he has a chance to right that wrong this season, where they can get that home playoff game or even 2 home playoff games before the AFC Championship game. They can play at home in front of the crowd in January in 80-some degree weather and be turned up down in Miami. So the opportunity for him is great. And he got to taste the playoff play because he had never played an NFL playoff game before. So now he has an opportunity to go back and be like, okay, well, this is what I can do better. Granted, it's going to be a different defense they're going to face once they do make the playoffs, but this is what I can do better. This is what I can learn from. This is how I can prepare better so I can have a better outcome to get me my first playoff win, possibly 2 playoff wins to make the AFC Championship game and you know, get another win, and you're right there in the Super Bowl. But it's all about him learning from those, you know, situations and mistakes, which I think that he will. But that does not mean that CJ is better than him because CJ won the game, because he also lost to the Ravens where he looked a little lost. So, and the Ravens dominated the Texans in Baltimore. But it's like I said, it's gonna be an interesting topic as the years go by, because I'm pretty sure they're going to play each other. I think they play each other this year, so it's gonna be fun to talk about it. I mean, no doubt, but I never understood the tearing down one quarterback to build the other one up. They both have their own skill sets, yet people want to always tear down Tua and build up another quarterback. They'll, just like the Josh Allen thing, they put up a thing today saying that what were they saying? Who was the quarterback? Who was the receiver they were talking about? Who were they talking about? It was either, because I commented on it. I can't think right now, but I had said along the lines of, so this receiver wouldn't produce with Tua. Found his name. Dang it, now I lost it again. Give me a second. Trent Sherfield. Trent Sherfield, who played for the Dolphins last season, had close to 500-yard receiving and, like, I think 8 touchdowns through the entire season. With Buffalo, he had 11 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown came against Miami Dolphins Week 18 when he caught it in the back of the end zone off a tip high-ass pass, and he caught it. The Buffalo Bills got a dud of a receiver, but he was the 4th-string receiver on their depth chart. So when they picked him up, well, they was high-fiving and happy because they thought they had acquired a special weapon to use against Miami. However, they didn't even utilize him, and he barely got any touches. He was just running routes for cardio because he damn sure didn't get the ball. But hey, right? That was Tua's fault in Buffalo that Trent didn't get a chance to shine a little bit. However, in Miami, he was catching touchdown passes. He was doing it all. He was involved in the offense. He got the Buffalo, all that stuff stopped. And you could thank the OC for that one, but hey, that's not my business. It's here or there. So, with that being said, though, guys, let me know what you thought of the video. It was 3 different parts in here, so I'll put that up in the thing. But let me know what you guys think. Peace.